Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live tactile game. I'll be your host, Joe Bugby, the creator. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be like a YouTube intro. I'm just having fun over here. So, why are we here today? Yes, we're going to play a game of tactile, but we have something special to look at. Um, I have come up with I'm calling it an expansion for tactile. Realistically, it's just one new rule. But with a game like Tactile, even one rule has massive changes in just the overall strategy of the game. Um, I don't have a snappy name for this rule yet, so I'm just kind of tentatively calling it two for one. I'm going to start out, I'm going to explain what the rule is, explain how it works, and then I'm going to play a live game and kind of show two for one in action. I'll tell you, right now, my initial thoughts on the rule. It's really fun. It adds a lot of interesting decisions to the game. It's kind of silly, to be honest. Like when once we started playtesting, we're like, is it making the game better? Like, I don't know. I'm having more fun, so that's got to be a good thing. But I think it's going to be something everyone's going to love playing with. I think some people are probably going to like it more than the classic version of Tactile. I think we're probably going to have some people that still like classic version, which is why it's an expansion, something you can choose to play with or not play with. I think it makes things easier for new players. It also makes things more interesting for experienced players. Um, and you're just going to have to see if it's something that you enjoy how it changes the game. So let's get into it. So what is two for one? So two for one, quite simply, is you can exhaust any two actions to get a free action of your choice. So what do we mean by actions you can exhaust? You can exhaust any combination of active action cards. So if I owned these cards and they were active and their actions were available for me to use, I could exhaust them as part of two for one. Any combination of active action cards and basic actions. So I can also exhaust basic actions as well. So it could be like exhausting two cards, or it could be like exhausting a card and a basic action, or you could even exhaust both basic actions, though I find that very unlikely that that would be something you would do. And then what action can you get in return for exhausting these two actions? You can get any of the six possible actions for free. So I could get a move for free. I could get a gain for free. I could get a buy for free. I could get a swap. I could get a reset, or I could get a push for free. All right. So, what are some examples of situations where I might use two for one? Well, let's say I own these two move cards, right? Let's say I moved onto yellow here, right? I could take a basic action to gain yellow, and then maybe I want two yellow because there's something that costs two yellow in the market. Well, I could then exhaust both cards, even though they're moves, and gain yellow again, right? So it just gives you that flexibility of if you have actions, you can do something with it. I think there's times in tactile where you're definitely going to have actions to available to you, but you may or may not like feel like they're super critical to use right now. Well, now you have a little more flexibility of what you can do with it, right? So I'm sure your mind is a buzzing of how you might use it. Let's put it in action and go ahead and find out. All right. So, quite simply, two for one, exhaust two actions, get an action of your choice. I've seen a lot of people use this in a lot of different ways. Popular ways to use it are to kind of basically put your whole engine towards one particular thing that might be really critical to you right now. Like it could be, I want to ramp really hard right now. I'm going to use my whole engine to buying cards. It could be, I want to rush for the win right now. I'm going to put my whole engine towards like trying to score. It could be, I need to stop this person at all costs and I have no defense whatsoever. You could put your whole engine towards defense, right? Um, or, any combination and then there and not there. All right. I'll tell you right now, my favorite way to use it is I love to ramp super hard. So I'm probably going to do that in this game, but we'll find out. All right. So starting things off, I'm going to start with it's going to be red versus blue today. So I'm going to go ahead and take out some of these extra pieces so it's not distracting. All right. Let's go ahead and do it. So red player's going first. Like I said, I love to ramp. So I'm probably going to get one of these gains first. Now I see a yellow, green, red gain, which could be valuable. There's definitely red kind of scattered towards the blue goal, so I don't mind that. I see there's also green kind of scattered, so red or green seems about equivalently valuable. I like the fact that there's two green gains though, which means I could potentially double up on green. but I don't like that there's kind of a big gap between green being available to me. I feel like if I went green gain, I'd probably want to like try to rush towards this position, which is actually pretty far away. And I feel like that might take too long to like start recouping the benefit. I could go for this red gain, but then nothing really costs red. So that's like, I don't know that that's super helpful. I think I'm probably just going to go for the green gains on my red player and then just kind of risk it. That hope I can get to this like important strategic position early on. Now, something to pay attention to is my opponent is probably like they're in an even better position to get there. So they're probably going to try to do the same thing. But I think I'd like to compete with them on this front because I see green being very valuable for picking up like these move cards, potentially the double to up strategy. I could it also is useful for getting this other gain. So I think green is probably the stronger move here. And I know I can beat them to this gain. So if they get this gain, then we're just gonna have to fight it out for the rest of the cards, right? All right. And that analyze the board. I'm going to now go ahead and start trying to put this into action by moving here and gaining green. All right, since I already analyzed the board, honestly, as blue player, I am going to be going for this gain. I feel like this is a very nice, easy pathway into it. While this opponent is going to beat me to one of the gains, I think I'm going to be able to start putting it into action quicker with this player. So I am going to stick with that strategy and then just hope that I can get those results faster. All right. So since I'm already on green here, I'm just going to gain and buy grain of green and then buy this double green gain. Let's see what comes out. A yellow gain. Interesting. I'm going to stick with the plan here though. Move on to green or blue and gain blue and then back to this player. All right, so I have this gain, but it's actually kind of useless to me now. I am going to want to continue on this ramp journey. I could gain green here to try to get this, but there's just no way. So they're going to get the other green gain. So I'm going to start making my way towards probably getting some of these moves. I want to make sure I have mobility. I could actually try to rush for this move. Let's see. I could get a yellow here and then move here and double gain green. So I basically could be halfway to this one and then set myself up to buy this one and then have the option of even picking up this in the meantime. So I think I'm going to actually go here and gain yellow with the hope of kind of getting both of these. So this guy's going to go ahead and buy now. First action, buy. Ooh, another yellow gain. So we have a lot of yellow coming out. So I feel like pivoting towards yellow is a good strategy. This guy is in a really good position to take over yellow, which is actually really scary because if you look at this line here, that's going to be pretty dangerous. So I think to stop that from happening, I want to try to get some. I think we both are going to fight for mobility here, but I think I'm in a better position here to go ahead and start capturing on it. I think I'm actually going to move this pawn out so that I have a little bit more flexibility with what I'm gaining here. But moving on to green allowed me to gain green. Gain green. Ugh. Okay, so this guy is... Okay, so here's the problem, is that if I move on to green, I can double gain green, but this guy is going to be able to pick up this move before me. So I'm actually in a better position to just straight up buy this move this turn. That way, if he gets this one, we're both kind of in the same boat. So I'm going to go ahead and gain and buy and pick up a yellow move, anticipating that my opponent will likely do something similar. Wow, it's like we share a brain or something, because I'm also going to gain and buy over here. But here's where it's interesting, because I could move gain and buy and kind of gain some ground here. There's not really any added benefit to doing that. Just being one tile closer, though, is nice. Little extra utility. But I also like the color diversity I have by being on two colors here. So I'm actually not going to use this card yet. Oh, but here's the thing. I want to set myself up for that yellow tile if I'm going to buy this yellow move. So it's actually smarter to move, gain green with my card, and then buy, because now I've set myself up. That was dangerous. I almost lost a couple turns of extra utility there by trying to be too greedy. So that's why we plan things out, team. That's why we plan it out. Okay. So over here, all right. It was easy for the first couple cards. It's now getting harder. I really want to ramp. So I think getting onto this, like these gains are perfect for my yellow move. So I want to go all out trying to get these gains. Now the only problem is that they don't cost yellow, and they don't. This one costs green, which is nice. I think I have to actually move here and gain to set myself up. Um, I could continue to advance though if we want to like keep the pressure on, right? Like I have this move. Let's keep using our cards. I got to move here, which gives me a free move, which allows me to move here, which allows me to gain red. Because next turn I can move, oopsies, I can move, gain, and buy. Um, and I'll be set up to pick up this gain, which is nice. And I also know my opponent is not in a great position to do that to me because the other one, he has a green gain as well. So I'm actually better positioned to start ramping faster, which is nice. Okay, what is my opponent gonna do in these dire straits that I've put him in? Well, I think I'm gonna do something kind of similar. I do see these red gains, but since I already have a yellow move, these yellow gains are much better. I'm just gonna keep mirroring my opponent here by moving here. I can move on to blue or red here and actually make life a little bit easier. I think I'm gonna move on to red here and gain red. Um, because next turn I could move on to blue and gain blue from this position, which will set me up for this guy here. Okay, so on this guy, I'm set up for a very nice combo here. I'm going to go ahead and move on to yellow, which allows me to move on to green, which allows me to gain green, which allows me to buy um, the yellow gain. So I'm definitely getting a slight edge here on ramp with this player, which is really nice. Okay, and so this is where this player cannot be as efficient this turn because I could move on to yellow and move on to green and gain green, but that's not going to help. I'm trying to decide if that makes sense. What's interesting is since we're both kind of competing on the same highway here, um, that's going to be a very strategic kind of blockade point. I could move here and get a free gain. I could gain a red, a yellow, or a green. There's, I could buy that, but I really think I want this. And the only way to really efficiently get it is to move here and gain blue and set myself up for the next turn. So I am now a little bit behind red player who's got a really nice position and a really nice engine starting to come together here. So I'm going to need to find a way to kind of recover from that. Let's see what we can do. All right. Not going to beat him to this. I have the potential to toxic reset here since these blue and these red cards are not super helpful to me. And I know that he's going for that yellow gain. That would be kind of a jerk move, but since it's myself, I think I'll forgive me. I think it's kind of funny. I'm tempted to do it. Alternatively, I could just start buying more gains. That's what's funny about the new rule 2-for-1 is that like gains are infinitely valuable because they just like you could just either use them to generate more resources to buy more things or just tap them to buy more things. So I think I'm gonna just like it would be a funny move to kind of here's the thing though to do this I'm gonna have to do like a forwards backwards sort of situation, but I get a free card out of it, so um, I'm not gonna necessarily be able to activate it. It would be better to, but if I toxic reset here, I'm gonna lose an action no matter what. At least this way I'm getting a card out of it, but I'm allowing my opponent to get a better engine. This is a tough call, you guys. I think you know what? He had to waste a turn to kind of set up for this action. So if I could make him waste another turn here. Now the risk is that he could be set up to buy a move or something. get more mobility. Like a green move would be really dangerous right now. Um, but then he would just be on par with me, basically. I guess I'm not super worried about it. The red gain is not super helpful. That's the problem. Like, I don't necessarily need it. It's kind of just a wasted action just because it's convenient. All right, I think I'm just going to reset here. It's toxic and funny, so that's what we do, team. We're toxic. All right. Ooh, do we? Ooh, that was a mistake. Yeah. Well, that's what we get for being toxic, because now he can double gain on green, and he has this triple gain. Oh, no. So that was actually a mistake to be toxic there. That's why it's really risky when your opponent has resources and you don't to reset, because there's a good chance they can buy something, and potentially better than whatever they could have bought before. All right, in any case, I'm going to go ahead and try to set up here. I can at least set up for this move, so I'm going to move here and move back, which exhausts this and allows me to gain yellow and green. And I'm very happy to potentially get that green move though. So even though he's going to get a gain, a double gain, which is really dangerous, and on green, and he'll be able to set up to, oh no, I don't like that, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I'd rather have the mobility here. So opponent is going to buy green gain, and then of course move on to yellow. Oh, do we stay on blue actually? Oh my gosh, this is a really good position for blue because it can set up for double blue gains. Oh, this is dangerous. I could even move on to yellow, move on to green, and set up triple green gains. Oh, that's so nasty. Oh, I gotta do that. I gotta move on to yellow, which allows me to move on to green, which allows me to double gain red and green, and now I'm set up for triple green gains. Oh my god, with the option of potentially getting blue gains. Ooh, that's dangerous. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? Okay, so clearly buying the green move, which would have been absolutely horrific if my opponent could have gotten that. We do not want that to happen. So much better mobility, which is nice. I am forced to do the do do again. All right. To activate everything because I don't have access to this nice green well. This is the problem. My opponent has this really nice green well, so they don't need as much mobility to get as much utility here. But I can do forward backwards, which gives me a move and two gains. All right. I know my opponent's buying this. Can't stop him from that. I could start to pick up some pushes here, actually, which is kind of interesting, actually. Um, I could have gained yellow when I moved on to yellow originally. So these two cards are actually really interesting to me. Um, I think those might, but ramp is so important. But I'm nowhere near blue. This is tough, you guys. I'm really interested by this though, because it's part of my color scheme. And I think I want to focus on staying in my color scheme for now. So I'm going to say I gained yellow when I was on yellow. I know, a little bit of a retrograde decision here, but forgive me, team. And it's nice because I am now having access. You know what? That was a good move, I think, because now I have access to the green triangle, and my opponent is going to have to make some tough calls if they want to keep me off it. All right, so I'm set up for purchasing that yellow push in the future. Not too bad. I think we're recovering. So over here, we're getting the deadly. I'm going to start off by buying the deadly triple green gain, which is, we don't love that. So we buy. And then we're going to go ahead and move because we have to move to activate it. Now, before we do that, oh no. Oh no. We're going to move on to yellow, which gives me a free move, which I can use to move on to green. Oh, this green? Even more obnoxious? Because by going here, it blocks my opponent from having access to my triangle. And then I can gain two green, the red. I don't necessarily need the red, but I can at least buy this. I can potentially set up for, I don't know how I'm going to get access to blue right now, but I really like blocking my opponent from getting into my triangle. I don't want him to touch it. I want him to keep having to do-si-do to get his combos off. That was a good positional block there. That's actually huge, right? That triangle is really, really valuable. So being able to block him there is a. I'm not actually planning any of this out. I'm just like seeing it live. This is why you got to think to play tactile team. You get such better turns when you actually think about it. But we're just having fun here. We're just having fun. All right, that's okay. We got to push. I like how the new rule has not showed up at all yet. It's just straight up regular tactile. And that's the thing about the new rule is it's more of a late game effect. So definitely once we start getting 5 6 cards, we'll be able to actually start putting it into play. So that's why like 4-player games you're not going to see it very much because you don't tend to have as many cards in those games. 3-player could be similar. It's really a 2-player, a late game situation where things start to get wildly out of hand. So I'm excited to very soon pull it in. I'm loving these potential pushes and gains here. I feel like I got to get more on that action. I hate that I got blocked here, but now that I have access to this, that was a good pickup on that push because now I can move on to here. I get access to all of this yellow. Here we go now, team. Do we want to gain anything here? That red could be valuable. The yellow is certainly valuable. Gonna need blue soon. Everything kind of costs blue. I think we want to compete for this yellow gain. That is probably going to be the most valuable thing we can pick up, but I don't really see any opportunity to do that at this moment, so we're just going to gain a yellow. We're going to push our opponent here. I don't think we want to push them onto blue because blue is what they really want. I think green is probably the least valuable thing to push them onto, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to green, which of course activates my gain and my move. Now this is where it gets interesting. Oh shoot, I should have gained green because I could move on to blue here, but then I'd be opening up this triangle, which I'm now able to kind of push him back on and steal all that ground. So I certainly do not want to be, I'm going to be denying him his yellow too. He could be in trouble here. So I think I'm okay with not necessarily being the closest to blue. I want that. It's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and gain yellow here. No, green. Let's not waste resources. I have a free move. I guess I just continue to gain ground now because I'm able to like steal this area. So we just go here. Nice. I would see this would have been a good opportunity to use the new rule, but I was out of actions. You have to be able to exhaust too, right? I didn't need that move. I would have rather spent it on something like a swap, but I need one more action before I can start cashing it in. I feel like I'm close, team. I feel like I'm close. All right, what are we gonna do over here in the danger zone? That we did not like what happened there. No access to blue, really. I really need a swap here. Um, okay, so the problem is he's gonna keep pushing me back and steal my triangle. I hate this. Okay, what can we do with this? What can we do? Some interesting options. Let me talk it through with you guys. So normally all I could do would be like move on to one of these green tiles to start getting more resources and whatnot. I could do a swap and a buy maybe and just straight up pick this up, but I'm not really close enough to yellow to use it. What's interesting is I could now, since I have 3 green gains, I could move on to green. I could use them. I could tap 2, use it as a move to have access to yellow, to move on to blue, then gain blue, and then buy and pick up this. That's a really interesting idea. Why don't we try that? All right, I'm going to move on a green, activates triple greens. I'm going to tap 2 as a move because I don't really need any more greens. I'll move on to yellow, activating my move on to blue. Ah! And now I'll use my last active green. I'll go up and pick up a blue, and then I will purchase. And I win the race to the yellow gain. I love it. Gains could be moves, gains could be pushes. I was debating using it as a push actually and try to like move him off, but I don't have the green mobility yet for like that to be a true help here. And now I'm in a really good position being on blue here. I can very quickly start to scale with this, which is nice. So, all right. And then this did not get used. All right, my opponent. What are you going to do? Erg, he bought my gain. Okay. I really want access to this. But I definitely need to start by moving on yellow. So why don't we start with that? Is there something I can buy? Not with this engine. So we'll go here. We activate all three of these. Move, gain, push. Now, what I want to do is push him back and continue to like take space in this triangle. Man, this one push is just brutalizing this guy over here. That pushes are important, guys. Pushes are important. So I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to definitely push him back here. I'm definitely going to be moving here. Is there anything I want to buy? There's no green card, so I don't think it makes a difference if I just go ahead and do it. So now I have another gain, another move. I have two gains here. Okay. All right, let's start talking about these guys. I think I want more pushes, right? Like I keep moving on yellow. Like this is just allowing me to just destroy my opponent here. So I think I want pushes. I don't think I need more resources right now. I could double gain blue, but I'm not really moving on blue. So I'm going to go ahead and actually tap both of these as a swap and swap this green for a blue. And then I'm just going to go ahead and buy. And I'm going to pick up pick up this yellow push. Oh, and what do you know? I still have a move. So why don't we go ahead and move onto yellow, activate that push, and then I can push again. We're just going to go ahead and push our opponent away from yellow so they cannot activate their combo. Ooh, pushes be dangerous. Pushes be dangerous. Oh my goodness. All right. Team triple green gain. How are you going to get out of this one? All right, let's see what we got here. Not a very move heavy game. I need yellow and blue, and I do not have great access to really and much of that. Okay. Yellow, I gotta keep getting back on yellow is the thing. And I've been blocked here from access to green, which is not good. So I think we're gonna have to do what we did last time and kind of inefficiently use my gains here. Triple gains, tap them for a move so I can go here, which activates my move and my gain here, which is really nice. Really, really nice. I think we're gonna have to gain yellow on this one. How do we buy something here? Red push, red gain. I really want these two. Because yellow and blue. This is not good. But can I swap maybe? I do have some stuff actually. Should I push? Could push him back and then move in here. But then he's just gonna push me back next turn. Could gain. I could gain twice here. And I could try to get, yeah, I mean, I want these, but I don't have time for them. I really need, I don't think I need more gains. I think I need a push. I could actually tap these for a swap this out for a blue, and then I'm just going to go ahead and buy myself. Whoopsies. Oh my goodness. I'm going to buy this yellow push, so I have a push now. And I still have a move. Except I don't necessarily, ooh, do I want to use the move? I could have actually tapped the move and kept a gain. I think I'm going to do that instead. I don't know that I need to move here. I'm going to have kept the gain then so that I could gain here. Red or yellow? We're going to take a yellow. I'd rather keep having resources because I don't know what's going to happen with the next card. Ooh, good choice. Good choice, team. Good choice is why we do it. That is important. All right, but this guy's probably going to be able to buy it first. So let's see what happens here. So to get to blue, could go like this to blue. I mean, I could easily buy it. Can I keep this guy trapped while I'm buying it? I'll have to use my pushes for that. This is where, okay. But I mean, we're still setting up a win here. Ooh, so this is where now we have enough cards to actually do stuff with this new rule. I'm like debating using gains as pushes just to like, I mean, blocking is so effective here. Like, could do some really crazy stuff. Like I don't even need to try to buy this just because but it'd be dangerous to let my opponent get it. I could literally push him onto blue using this gain and a basic action as a 2-for-1, then move on to yellow here, getting all this so I could just throw this guy way the heck out there. And then in the meantime, I could I mean I'd be giving him the opportunity to purchase this move, which I do not love. But the yellow's not even that valuable to me anymore. Like I'm gonna be in here. All right, let's just go for gold, you know? Let's just stay aggressive. So I'm gonna move on to green. I'm gonna use 2-for-1. We're just having fun, right? I'm gonna use 2-for-1 to tap both of these to push my opponent. Why don't we push him here? Green's not super helpful to them. Then I'm gonna move on to yellow to activate all of these. I don't want to push him onto blue because then it'll be easy to buy this. I'm gonna keep him off of blue. Then I'm going to just, oh, I could jail here, right? Push him. Oh, no, no. I'm planning to leave this space, though, because I'm planning to go here. So where can I push my opponent? I mean, I could push him forward just to jail him. Friendly forward push. I use, I gain yellow. And then I exhaust both of these actions. I could exhaust both of those actions to gain again and just keep him trapped for a turn. But then like to get out of this, I do all kinds of weird stuff. Nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So these were still active. I'm just gonna go for the win here. I'm gonna push my opponent. Just don't want him to get onto yellow. I'm gonna push twice. Ah. There. I'm gonna move on the blue. I'm gonna gain a blue. All right. Still pretty good turn, making really good progress. Gonna be hard to win though, since I have so many yellow cards. That's the problem. All right, opponent. What are you gonna do over here? Maybe I should have just left him trapped, but I'm trying to be aggressive here. See what I can do. Okay, so I think the answer is he can't win next turn, I don't think, because you have to do and do weird stuff to just try to get forward. He's going to lose a ton of actions. So I think we're going to ramp. And move on to green, which gives 3 gains. Pretty nice. And then tap tap to move on to blue, gain blue, and buy yellow move. Didn't move on to yellow, so did lose some efficiency there, but picked up that nice move. Ooh, that's gonna be so nice if I can touch green next turn. Okay, so I could move here, which would activate these two. Where do these resources come from? I know I gained yellow last turn. Did I have a blue? Did I just forget I had a blue resource? Ooh, we're gonna have to watch the replay on this one, team. I might have just had a blue resource. Where did this blue come from? I'm gonna assume I didn't. That could be the game-changing choice here. All right. So this is the hard part. It's like trying to score from here with no yellow tiles in between. I'll really need red and blue to make this work. So I'm going to move on to green, which activates both of these guys. Yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem. All right, here's what we're going to do, actually. I'm going to move on to yellow, go backwards so that all of these activate. I'm going to then gain blue by this yellow gain. I don't think it makes a ton of sense here, but I'm purchasing. Let's see what this is. That push, pretty nice. I'm going to move on to green, which activates these two guys, which allows me to... My opponent is probably going to have access to it before me. I have two pushes still. So I'm going to actually move on to yellow, which now activates this gain I just got. So I can gain to green, and then spend my two pushes to just purchase the green push. Nice. Now my opponent does not get... Love ramping. That's really nice. My opponent won't get it. I'm setting myself up to have more potential actions to use to try to score and win. Okay. I finally get to use all of these bad boys in one turn. So how much damage can we do? Let's see. Move on to yellow. Activate all of these guys. Move on to green. Can we move up here just to like get in the way? Do we move up there to get in the way? Choices, choices, choices. I don't think we need to play defense. I'm going to go here. So we have all these gains. I think we just gain... I think it'd be better if I stacked colors here. So if I gain double yellow, double green, I can get two... I can basically set myself up for two pushes. And then I'm going to tap these as a buy and tap this as a buy. And I will get both red pushes. It's easier to activate things if you stack. Nice. All right. Now what I should have been doing is seeing if my opponent can win on the next turn. But I don't think they can. Not with all the yellow they need to activate. All right, I think my opponent's going to go for it. We're going to move back onto yellow, which activates all of these. Move forward onto yellow. Tap two gains to move forward onto green, which activates all of this. We will be scoring a pawn. And then we have two more actions, so we're going to wait, we have we're going to push. We want to gain a resource that's in between here now. We're going to go ahead and gain a green because we're on green. Then we're going to use one of these pushes to go here, and then we're going to exhaust a basic action, whoopsies, and a push to go here. Basically converting everything into moves. All right, one tile away from winning the game here. My opponent's got a lot of stuff, but I don't know how much they can do with it. Okay, so my opponent needs yellow and green, so the best place to put them would be somewhere like here, or yeah, somewhere like here, I think, where they just like can't do anything. I think this is the only tile where they're just like completely in jail, right? From no access to yellow. See, the thing is as long as they can touch any yellow or green, they can like use the 2-for-1 to like expend multiple cards and like find their way back. So I think the best place to put them is here. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 tile push. I have 3 pushes, and I can exhaust 2 to make another push, or I could just buy another push right here. So I think we have a pathway to do this, team. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So I'm going to move on to yellow, which activates all of these. I'm going to move on to green, which activates these. I can now gain, so I see both of these cost red and green. So I'm going to gain 2 green. I'm going to move on to red, which activates both of these. I'm going to gain, problem is though, the problem is that can I actually, all right, I'm going to gain a red by, so I'll add this push not activated yet. Oh, but I'll have to tap a gain to use it. That's the problem. So I'm not able to buy actually. And I'm not able to gain. So I'm not able to get this. So instead of gaining 2 greens, actually, I will only have gained 1 green, then done the move so that I can gain a red here. Now I can tap the other 2 gains so that I can buy this yellow push. And then, still can't use it. I think I had a move left. I shouldn't have tried to work backwards to this. All right, we'll just say I bought it. Don't get to use it this turn, but then I can push him back 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. I think I'll still be able to do stuff, but I don't think he's going to win the game now. Because now on this turn, severely limited. But there's a move in the market now, which is dangerous. So I can move onto green. Move on to blue. Gain blue. Exhaust a push and a basic action, so I can move on to yellow. I have all of this now. So move on to red. Gain red. Buy by tapping 2 of these. Now I have a move. Much harder to stop. And then for the push, I will push here. All right, much harder to stop. I don't think my opponent wins on the next turn. So for this one, I have to do a do-si-do, move back and forth. So I move, I exhaust a move to move here. I'm going to move onto red, which activates these 2. All of this is active. Don't really have that many moves. I'm going to go ahead and just forget it. Tap 2 to score. Tap 2 to move here. Tap 2 to move here. Oh my gosh. Tap 2 to move here. Gain green. All right, I didn't win, but 1 tile away on this side now. What are you going to do? Okay. Untap all of these. All right, can we pick up a push on the way now? We certainly can. We have a green. We're on red, where it'll be easy to... Don't have a ton of moves. Oh boy. Is there an easier push to get? Nope, gonna have to go on to red to use a push. I can also just tap 2 to push. Let's see. I have 3 pushes. Where's the worst place to put him? So he's in jail. He really only has actions on, he has actions on 3 different colors. So the worst place to put him is 1, 2, 3. I mean, honestly, crossing all this yellow is going to waste a lot of efficiency. See, with this, he'll get to activate all 3 of his colors. But I think even here, you could still score. How many pushes could I create conceivably? You have to balance between creating pushes and trying to just like cross this jungle. Is there a jail cell though? He'd be jailed if he was surrounded by blue. I mean, if I could push him all the way to like here, I could block him here and then he'd be in jail. Or even so 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can do 4 pushes, I could put him in a pretty bad spot actually. So I think we need to get 4 pushes. So I have 1, 2, 3 pushes, and then I could get a 4th. So why don't we do that? All right, so we're going to start by moving onto yellow. Activates all of this. I'm going to then move on to red, which allows me to gain red. And then I am going to exhaust these 2 actions so that I can move on to green, which gives me all of this. I couldn't even actually use the push if I needed it, though. That's the problem. I think I'm going to be forced to just push with everything else. So I'm going to push, 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 and then tap both of these, oops, to push 4 times. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wasn't able to use my red move. Oh, I forgot I had a red move. I didn't actually need to exhaust 2 here, which means I could have exhausted both of those to purchase. So I'm going to actually purchase this red push. Forgot I had the red move. Oh my gosh. I wasn't able to use it, but I was able to buy it, which I think is going to be really important. All right. Wow, this is a crazy game with this new ability. This is super balanced too. I think this is what happens if you actually like try to counter each other. Countering is important to have a balanced game. Okay, I'm definitely like making a bunch of mistakes too. I'm sure the replay has like a lot of opportunity to come back. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do here. All right. I am stuck. I am forced to go onto red here. There is no other option. So I have to move onto red. I have to exhaust both pushes to move back onto green to get 3 gains, which I have to exhaust 1 to move here and then another one at my basic action just to get onto yellow. But now I have all of this, and then I can actually move twice and then score. Ooh, with 1 action to spare. Just as I was calling it balanced. Dang. Should have tried to block. If I had just pushed him here and then blocked, they wouldn't have been able to do that. Didn't see far enough ahead. Oh my gosh. Dang. That was a good battle. So who won? Blue? Wow. Wow. That was a good fight. Super interesting. It was really interesting to use the 2-for-1 in, I think I used it in 3 different ways. I used it as extra moves. I used it as extra buys. I don't even think I used it as extra gains because I was buying a ton of gains, but I used it as extra pushes. It was very helpful defensively because like jailing is still really important because it forces your opponent to waste so many actions. But then it was really hard to like actually map out how much score potential they had because they had so many cards. How many cards was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was a perfectly balanced 10 to 10 game. That was really interesting. And I think there was probably, I mean, there was definitely ways to like continue playing defense there. That was crazy. That was a crazy game. I feel like there was definitely opportunity to be more efficient in that game, but it was also really interesting to like try a bunch of different ways of attacking and growing. Maybe there were some opportunities to be more defensive. I'm not sure. I'll have to do like a play by play thinking about it, but it was interesting to definitely try all the different ways. I feel like there was probably other ways to use the 2-for-1 in that fight too. But anyways, that's the new ability. As you can see, it's really interesting. It shows up much more in late game. It shows up much more in two-player games. There's a ton of different ways to use it. It's still something I'm exploring. I'm going to include the rules for the 2-for-1 ability in the games as they ship out, so keep an eye out for those. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Can't wait to play this new version, this new expansion within the game. Tactile's coming very soon. So thanks for staying tuned. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy, everyone. Bye bye.